This video will show you how to set up and begin to use your new Lazy Dog Engineering transmit hardware, LD-1TX or LD-1TR. If you purchased an LD-1TX for an existing receiver and haven't already done so, you should view the other video to show you how to install your new hardware before trying to set it up and use it. The first thing to do if you're installing a new LD-1TX, after you install the hardware or before, is to install the new firmware into your receiver. You'll do that using the bootloader, but first launch the LD1 control panel from the Lazy Dog Engineering folder in the Windows Start menu. Click OK to dismiss that dialog, then go to the File menu and select Update Firmware. Dismiss the resulting dialog, and then go back to the Start menu to launch the bootloader. It's in the Lazy Dog Engineering folder again. USB bootloader. Open the hardware, navigate to the CD or DVD drive with the install disk in it, and find the one and only hex file. Select that to be installed, and then download it. Reset the hardware, and then exit out of the bootloader. To use your Lazy Dog transceiver, you're going to need two sound cards. One that serves as an interface between the radio hardware and the PC, and the other one that serves as the audio input and output. In effect, the mic and speakers. You'll connect your mic and headphones or speakers to that sound card, which can be the internal sound card in your PC as shown here. Other connections to your Lazy Dog hardware will be 13.8 volts DC. You need that voltage for full output. A USB cable between the Lazy Dog unit and your PC for control, and an antenna. You will also connect the external sound card to your PC, probably using a USB cable. And for the external sound card, I use an EMU0202 or a Creative X5 5.1, which is also called an SB1090 or 1095. Connecting the external sound card to the Lazy Dog hardware is quite simple. You simply run an 3.5 millimeter audio cable between the sound card's line in or mic input. If it's a stereo mic input, that must be a stereo connection, to the middle one of the 3.5 millimeter connectors on the back of the Lazy Dog unit. You will also run an audio cable, 3.5 millimeter, from the line out stereo output of the sound card to the 3.5 millimeter connector that is right next to the antenna connector on the Lazy Dog unit. Now, I recommend that you use HDSDR, and there is an installer for it on the CD that came with your LD-1TX or TR. So install HDSDR, and in the next section, we'll see how to set it up and use it with your Lazy Dog hardware. Okay, we're going to launch HDSDR, and if you've selected the input source as the LD1, it'll find it. You're probably already familiar with this. You'll need to set up the connections to the sound card for both transmitting and receiving. Now, not all of this will be enabled yet until you've enabled transmitter support. We'll see that in a second, but make sure that you have the transmitter and receiver inputs and outputs connected as shown here. Set the sample rate for receive to 96,000 and for transmit also to 96,000. That's as high as it'll go, and you don't want to use 192 for receive with 96 for transmit. And then you can start it, but actually something interesting, you won't have the little transmit button, which is shown here, until you've enabled transmit support. What I'm doing here is setting the step size to 73 kilohertz and making sure that the phase shift is 90 degrees and putting it in band. Now, you want to select Enable Transmitter Support. What I just did is I disabled it. See how the transmit button went away? And now you get a little warning note saying make sure you're obeying the rules. Set up for the sound card connections again, but notice that the transmit, the TX button, has reappeared. Now you also need to enable transmitting in the Lazy Dog control panel. Now that enables the transmit button. You can use that to put it in transmit mode. Or you can use the mute button. That just mutes the receiver. Another little trick, if you've got it set up right, notice the PA temperature indication here. If the PA temperature reaches 80 degrees Celsius, it'll shut down until it cools off. That could happen if you're in AM mode for a long period of time. I've tried to set the bias so it should not happen if you're in single sideband. Possible exception would be if you're working one of the digital modes where there is a signal going out all the time. It could heat up. Hopefully not. If not, we'll address that in the future. Now, let's see. I'm setting the LO frequency for the B VFO. There are A and B VFOs that you can switch back and forth between in HDSDR. You don't need to do this. I just wanted to make sure that the little transmit trick I'm going to show you would work in either using either the A or the B VFO. Now notice I just click the TX button, and if your setup is working like mine, when you click it and it turns red, and there's about a 1.5 seconds delay time there, it will send a signal to the Lazy Dog hardware. I don't understand why it does this, but it does, and it'll automatically start transmitting. That was a pleasant surprise, and I hope it keeps working that way. I've been told that it doesn't always work, but I haven't been able to figure out why. Anyway,